Guys, welcome back. It's the Wildlife Aid YouTube, and I've got a guest with me this week. He's hiding behind his pad. He's drawing. He's an artist. I don't like to admit it in front of him, but he's a brilliant wildlife artist. We'll be talking to him later on about what he does. Just brilliant. Brilliant.
I thought you said you were really going to ham it up. No, okay, don't worry.
This could be a very difficult week. Having a live guest who's completely uncontrollable is not the easiest thing to work with. But seriously, guys, Richard Symonds, a brilliant wildlife artist. You'll be seeing some of his work later on, and it's worth going to his site. Just remember, if you buy one of his prints or even one of his originals, which are fantastic, when he's dead, they'll be worth so much more. So, you know, just remember they could be worth a lot of money in due course.
What did you put in my Coke?
I put, yeah.
It smelled funny.
He hasn't actually signed over to us yet all his original prints. When he does, he won't be living that long afterwards. Seriously, guys, great to have you back. Thank you. We've been really busy. We've been on rescues today. Laurie's going to hate me now because I'm about to say we did a couple of rescues. Lawrie and Abbey went out on the first one, and because I wasn't there, they didn't get it. We then went out together, Lawrie and I, and we caught it very easily. And then he went out and tried to make the excuse that they managed to catch a pigeon. But anybody...
We did, it's not the excuse.
Yeah. See, Abbey and Lawrie, they're trying...
Oh my God, I'm going to put my hard hat on.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those evenings. I can see it coming.
I have to work with this man.
Do we get any questions from anybody so we can break the banter? This is the question.
Yes, yes. So we've got a couple of questions coming in at the moment. We'll just start with a couple more generic ones, and then we'll move on to a couple directed at Richard.
Ooh.
So, Amanda Harker has asked, what's your favourite animal to rescue? And that can be directed to both of you, because Richard, you've actually done a few rescues with us.
Oh, he's done one.
No.
Multiple
two.
ones. Multiple
I've done
ones.
A few more.
And he cried.
I did.
He did cry.
But you were crying too.
Yeah, but he only cried because I stamped on him, but there we are. Favourite animal to rescue? The easy answer to that is it's the one that I'm rescuing at that time, because the excitement of doing it and the stress of doing it is what it's all about. I'm hearing myself really badly somewhere over here, Lawrie, and it's really, really annoying me. Something I think is on the speakers here, if we can get rid of it.
It's been dealt with,
really
sorted.
Cool. No, so it's the animal at the time. We went out, Lawrie and I went out the other day, there were two magpies stuck down between a container and a fence with only a 2 centimetre gap at the bottom. And sadly, I have to admit, we do work very well together. It was really professional. We got them out very easily, released them back off, and they went and sat in a tree together. So favourite rescue is the one I'm doing at the time.
What about you, Richard? In terms of the ones you've done with us, what's your most memorable?
I had a very memorable one when we went out and did that deer, and you're right, I did cry my eyes out because sadly the deer had to be put down there and then on the spot. It couldn't have been. It had a very broken pelvis, wasn't it, I think, from memory? And apparently there's nothing you can do about that. So that was very emotional. But I think the favourite one I've done was putting those
the
owls back into the tree.
That was a really cool
That
rescue.
was just amazing. I think we had two, was it I had two to put back
Two
in.
put back, but so it wasn't a
In a
rescue.
pillowcase.
It wasn't a rescue.
No, it was a release.
It was a release. Release
So-
is always the best thing.
And to be given the opportunity to climb a tree. I love climbing trees, by the way. And to go up, 30, 40 feet and put an owl back in its nest and see its mum in there. So that was magic, absolutely.
But there again, 30, 40 feet is nothing. Lawrie goes 60, 70 feet up a tree in the driving range.
Can I just say that
Yes,
the person who taught me how to go up those trees is Mr. Symonds.
No, but Lawrie, that was respect. I tell you what, that respect to this guy. I would not have done that, by the way.
Don't praise him too much because he'll only ask for a pay rise. So
I think you should, Lawrie. I think you should. He deserves every.
Okay, give us another question, Lawrie.
A couple of people have asked, do we save owls?
We do. We were talking about owls there. We got 2 baby owls in. We found out where the nest was, and Richard went out with me and we had a look. We found where we thought the tree was, and up he went and got them back in the nest. So owls are quite a lot of our work. Owls mainly when they come in for 2 reasons. One is they've flown into the side of a car and damaged themselves badly, so it's either a wing damage or eye damage, and then we get them back out as soon as we can. Baby owls fall out of nest. Lawrie and I went back this summer to a barn owl that had fallen out of a tree, and we got that back up into the tree as well. So if we can do a rescue release, if we can ever get a young animal back with its parents, that's what we'll try and do. We can obviously get them back from here, and they stand a total 100% chance of going back and doing well. But if we can get them back with parents straight away, that's what nature intended.
Guys, you may have been seeing and hearing that Richard is actually doing a sketch for us live. We will be revealing that one in the next couple of minutes, but just keep the questions coming in.
If you saw what he was sketching, I don't think we should actually put it on air. It's X-rated. He sketched very much X-rated. But we will be selling it. Whoever wants to buy this sketch later on,
if my pen doesn't run out,
it will go to the highest bidder.
My cheap £99 pen.
Bung us another question, guys.
So I had a couple of questions for people who are doing veterinary medicine degrees, and they're wondering how you can get an internship doing something like this, so with Wildlife Aid or another wildlife rescue.
Vet students and newly qualified vets, it's a great thing to come and do because you learn very little on the vet course. I think only about 1.5 hours is given in the course to wildlife. And it's more important nowadays that all vets, when they take in wildlife, either triage it and give it to a wildlife hospital, but don't euthanize it unless it's an obvious injury that you can't cure. We can do a lot. We don't expect the vets to spend a lot of money. We expect them to give us a ring and say, we've got this in, can you take it? And any wildlife hospital of any repute would say yes. So coming here to learn how we treat wildlife, because the husbandry is very different, the management is very different for wildlife, come to us, write to your local wildlife hospital. I'm sure they would pull your hands off to get you there for a week, because it's good experience, knowledge for them, and you will learn a lot too. We have a lot of vet students through here, and we would take more and more if we could.
Nash Guy 207 has asked, Simon, what did you do for your working career before Wildlife Aid?
I had a couple of nervous breakdowns. That was the answer to that. I was a commodity broker up in London. I really didn't enjoy it at all, but I always believe life is a path. It takes you on a path to get to where you want to be. If I hadn't have done that, I couldn't have afforded to do this. So it takes you on a journey, and I've ended up, I think, in my rightful place. So that's what I did for 23 years before I came here. I come from a farming family, so everybody thought I would be a farmer, but I did that for a year before I got offered my job in London. So very un-me. The only suit I had when I went for my interview absolutely reeked of cow dung, and all the partners were looking at me as if I was just a nasty smell in the room. But the good thing for that interview was they were trying to...
these days, I think.
Yeah, I do bath occasionally. They were trying to phase me out, and I just wouldn't be phased. I don't get phased out by having questions fired at me, unless Lawrie does it, and then I just cry. So off we go, guys. Next one.
Just keep your questions coming in, guys. We do have, so we'd like to introduce Richard as an amazing wildlife artist. We haven't put up any of his work on before, but
why not? I thought you said you would.
This is going live.
We're going out now. You're going out live now, Mr. Symonds.
So he's done an awful lot of work both with British wildlife, although Simon may say otherwise, and wildlife abroad. He does a lot of work with wildlife charities and stuff like that, and seems to specialise in life-size depictions of animals. So a couple of questions for Richard coming in. When did you start learning to draw, being an artist, and when did you think that was going to be your full-time career?
It was never meant to be my full-time career. I started drawing when I was probably like everybody, when I was about 3 years old. I think it's the first form of communication we do before we speak, is doodling with a pencil or a pen. And I drew really all the way through my school, which is why I failed all of my exams. I wanted to be an airline pilot, and I was looking out of the clouds most of the time, looking at the trees and stuff, not really listening to my maths teacher, and because I failed my maths, it became quite difficult to become an airline pilot. To cut a very long story short...
well, to cut a long story short, you were unemployable, really.
I was very, and I still am. Yeah. I haven't been employed really ever, actually. So, yes, I'm quite unique in that, I suppose.
We've only had him over here tonight just to make him feel better, because he's got no friends.
I had to put on a shirt tonight.
Yeah, you did, yes. And he bathed. I'm glad to say he bathed.
I had a shave. No, so I became a wildlife artist really when I was about 20 years old, 21 years old. I started doing people's cats and dogs, and I moved away very quickly from that for doing elephants, the big juicy elephants and lions and tigers, which Simon gets very cross about. He's always saying, why don't I do hedgehogs? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I can reveal in the last 10 minutes I have drawn a hedgehog.
That will be.
Look at that, on my 99p pen, Lawrie. So we will be auctioning this off. If anybody would like it, I'm sure Simon would like to sign it.
I'd be
The
delighted
team
to
here,
sign it.
we could sign it.
Anything to get rid of it. Anything to get rid
So
of
if you
it.
want to make an offer,
But I think you've also got some real prints with you, haven't you?
I do indeed.
What are you
Yes.
going to do with your real prints? Here we
Simon
go.
always does have a little go at me that I don't do enough for British wildlife, and
You don't?
it's not actually quite true. So I did this drawing for the guys, how many, about 2-3 years ago?
Yeah, that was 2 of our cubs.
2 of their cubs, and sadly one of them didn't make it. I remember it was very sad.
Kind.
All you guys were crying, I
Yeah,
was
it
crying, the
wasn't
nation was crying. It was very, very sad. But I did a little drawing, or it's called a drawing called Little Boy Lost, because it was the boy that died.
That's
I think it was a
quite
boy
sad.
and a girl.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a print, limited edition print. It's number 9 of 95, I think. It's signed. Again, if anybody would like to pledge, can we do that? I'm kind of.
No, this is
I don't know how it works.
Let's start the bidding, guys, because we'll let you know how the bidding's going.
Yeah,
We'll know what we've got
if you would like either Richard's Hedgehog or the print of the badges, if you can just let us know in the chat roughly what your pledge amount would be, and then at the end of the chat, the person with the greatest pledge will send you some contact information. If you can contact us, and we can sort out payment and get it out to you.
There's two here as well. So
Well, a little bit older, these two. Aren't
these
they?
two, what, they're not fully grown, are they?
No, they're
Probably
not.
quite young.
They're quite young, but they're a bit older than those. And we do have, well, like eBay, we do have a buy it now price. If anybody wants to bid £10,000, we will send it to you express delivery.
Express delivery by private
but
jet.
You can see just the British wildlife he draws. He's a stunning artist. I don't say it too often. And his wildlife, his bears in Vietnam and China, and his elephants and all the other things he draws. It is worth a visit to his website, because I said they're beautiful now, and they will be worth so much more when he's dead. So, go for it, guys.
Say that.
And he even sells the
I
originals.
love coming here.
I mean, the originals go from anything from about £3,000 to £10,000.
Yeah, they can. Yeah.
And the life-size originals are a bit more than that, aren't they?
They are the elephants.
Yeah, they're a lot more. A life-size elephant.
But these are
Can you
prints.
imagine
Don't
it,
worry.
guys?
Don't scare people off, Simon. These are limited edition prints. So just as much money as you can give towards these, it all helps the amazing animals that Simon and the team here rescue. So that's really what it's all about. If we can.
Have you got any of your
create a
prints
little
with
bit
you?
of cash.
Have you got any of your big wildlife animal prints?
Yeah,
So
I've
I can
got
slag
a
you off?
full-size elephant outside.
Excellent, but we won't be showing that tonight. But no, stunning artist. Visit his website, support him, because he does support a lot of wildlife charities. So yeah, he's actually quite a nice man. I don't like to praise him too much. Give us another question.
We've had a couple of donations come in over the past couple of minutes, so thank you very much to everyone who has donated. We've got €5 from Kirisaki, who has written, "I really love you guys and what you do for the animals, so a big thank you to you all. Thank you very much, that's very kind." And Viv E has donated £20 on behalf of Mr. T the cat, so hello to both of you. And has written, "Hello Rescue Superheroes, a little donation from Mr. T the cat. Thank you for the work you guys and gals do." So thank you very much to both of you. If anyone else does want to make a donation, at the bottom of the chat there's a little $sign. If you click on that, that's the super chat, and that will go straight through to us. So thank you very much to anyone who does that one. Question wise, Richard, how long have you known and worked with Simon? And my personal question, why do you still know and work with Simon?
And
That's
why
a very
does
good
Mummy
question.
Brady still work
I
in
was
those
having a very nice exhibition up in London for
I remember that.
Animals Asia. I'm going to just drop that one in 2011, I think it was, in London. And this guy, I knew about Simon, but I'd never met him. And I probably should have kept it that way.
Absolutely.
Answer your question. No, so Simon came up to him full of energy and said, "You've got to come and draw some British wildlife." And I was like, "Okay, well, can I just get through this exhibition first?"
No,
Come now. He was so insistent, and then the next day the phone rang, and then I tried to kind of get rid of him. He put the phone down, and he phoned the next day, the next week, and Simon's very insistent and persistent, I should say. And I came down to the centre, more importantly, and they invited me out on a couple of rescues. And I have to be honest, guys, I was hooked straight away, because what they do is amazing. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart, and I'm not going to well up now, so I'm just
As long as it's not from the heart of your bottom.
And that's oh, Lawrie.
Oh,
anyway,
dear.
how long have you worked here for, is the question.
Nearly 4 years now.
No, but what I've got to say, honestly, the guys at WildlifeAid, I say it's a service that is not funded by the government. It's all charity based, isn't it? And what these guys do is absolutely incredible. And we can all do something to help, whether it's pledge a bit of money or come and volunteer at the centre if you're local. These guys really are heroes, and thousands of animals have had a second chance because of what these guys do, what Simon set up all those years ago. So from the bottom of my heart, do support them. They are amazing what they do. If you love wildlife, these guys are true wildlife heroes. And that's enough.
That was the best fiver I've ever spent in my entire life. So thank you.
But I
Thank
mean
you,
it.
Richard.
I mean it. Jesting aside, I mean.
We all do our bit where and how we can,
Fantastic.
and I wish I had the talent to draw like Richard does, because I would be doing that, because it's just
No,
stunning.
you wouldn't probably.
I would, because it's just so beautiful. So come on, bung us some more questions, Mr. Brady.
Yeah, a
Abby's
couple
been very
more.
quiet so far.
A
She's
couple of
hiding.
more sort of arty based ones. So Richard, what's your favourite medium to use as an artist?
These were done in pencil. I started out in pencil. I've gone off to do oil paintings and watercolours, and I love them all. I think the thing is with artists is variety. It keeps me interested in the career. But pencil, definitely pencil is my favourite. I love black and white. I think it's timeless. It's like Simon. It's kind of timeless.
I'm far better in black and white. You don't see all the wrinkles so badly in black and white.
No, but I think
Actually, you do. When you do your elephant, he did an elephant the other day, and if you look at the trunk, the detail on the trunk of that elephant, it was beyond real. It was that good. It was just stunning to watch it.
I just thought of you when I was painting.
You can go off people very quickly, and I've gone off Richard Symonds. He won't be here. You know, when we have our ad break in 35 seconds, we're going to kick him out the
he's
door.
been pulled out.
That'll be it. He'll disappear.
We get this shepherd's crook.
Yeah,
Yes.
we have the swan hook. The swan hook will
Oh yeah,
come into
swan
shot.
boat. Yeah.
A lot of people are liking the swan rescues in the comments at the moment.
Cool.
There are more of those to come on Friday. Other questions. Richard, do you have any advice for an illustration graduate who's not sure what to do next to sort of further their career?
I get asked this a lot. You know, how do I become an artist? How do I become a professional artist? There's
Don't work with wildlife.
Don't answer all this guy. And it's probably this is probably something we share the same as Simon. I would think is that when you start out of this, it's very daunting. You think, how the heck am I going to be able to sustain a living out of this? There's so many great artists out there. I think the thing that's probably got you through what you've done over all these years is passion, enthusiasm, and a belief that you can do it. And I don't mean in a cocky way. It's just knowing that you are dedicated to your craft. Or
Believe in yourself.
it is. You have to believe in yourself. And I think this is probably very similar. It's a very volatile. You know, I think being in the charity sector, or being an artist, or musician maybe, or photographer, Lawrie. It's a very volatile business to be in. But you've got to be passionate about it. You've got to love what you do. And I think if you are passionate and you love what you do, people will gravitate towards that, and they'll see that passion within your work, whether you're saving animals and doing it properly. And that's one thing I do always say sorry, I'm going to ramble on a bit here. What I do say about people, if you're going to be painting wildlife, don't just copy other people's photos. You have to use your own material as much as you can. Occasionally I'll use another person's photo with their permission, but you have to use your own material. I'm very strong on that, actually, if you're going to make a living of it.
When you think about it, this room is very crammed with talent. Like myself aside, you've got you, the wildlife artist, Lawrie, a brilliant wildlife photographer.
Awesome photographer.
Abby, can you throw me over the 2020 calendar? We've got some bits, obviously it's Christmas time, guys, so we have lots of stuff in the shop. One of those things is my model. This is Richard. He's not wearing the right tie, but all these pictures are Laurie's.
And Abby's. And Abby's. They're a combination of both of us.
Thank you.
That was the
Thank you.
that was the first sound of Abby we've had. She coughed.
Are these yours, Abby?
No.
So
both
we've got
calendar and
Christmas
Wow.
cards, we've got the badger cub, we've got a mouse, we've got a hedgehog, we've got a little tawny old chick, and Richard is so beautifully showing the other pictures on the calendar. But honestly, a lot of talent in this room. We all do what we do, but
It's not shiny.
it's pretty stunning to see it. So there we are. So that's quite cheap. What's the price of the calendar? Does anybody know the price of the
They're
calendar?
£10.
£10 is cheap.
Bargain. Absolutely.
£10
bargain.
is cheap, and I'd like to say that Lawrie gets none of it.
No.
You know, I don't like to be at all kind to people.
Got any
But
deer shots in here?
amazing pictures from Lawrie and Abby, I have to say now. So we've got these. We'll show you later on. We've got a hedgehog necklace, which is truly beautiful. We'll be overwintering hedgehogs this year, like we always do, and the way it's going at the moment, it looks like we're going to be overwintering about 400. Now, people don't think that's many. These 400 hedgehogs will eat their way through 20,000 cans of dog food while they're with us.
Whoa.
That is the most stunning. It's 10 tons, just for anybody who wants to know. That's about 10 tons of dog
Where'd
food.
you get? I mean, do you go down to Sainsbury's and buy?
No, we do buy it bulk, but even that's not that cheap. We buy it from the big companies, but they don't give us a huge discount. We used to get it for nothing. Sadly, now they don't do that anymore because corporates are very, very
Does
tight.
food and dog food go off? Is it something that
it does? It's about after the sell-by date. You can probably use it for about a year for wildlife, not for your pets, obviously, because you've got to be safe. But for wildlife, it's fine. And we'll go through 20 tons of that. We've been trying to find a market for hedgehog poo this year, because you imagine if they eat 20,000 cans of dog food. Imagine all that poo. There's got to be a market for hedgehog poo somewhere. We're looking for it desperately.
Abby, we'll look into that. Maybe.
Yeah, we're looking into that. So we've got the books. We've got.
She's googling at the moment.
She's googling or giggling. She's googling or giggling.
I know you can make paper out of elephant dung. Maybe there's something here. Maybe you can make paper
hedgehog
out of hedgehog
paper.
poo. I could do a drawing of a hedgehog on hedgehog poo.
Yeah, that's Abby's next project. So, guys, honestly, we've got Christmas fillers, we've got books, we've got my book, 2 of my books, we've got the autobiography.
Oh, shall I model those for you?
Yep, and we've got the children's book. So, autobiography is that one.
If you have insomnia, it's a fantastic read.
7 minutes from a bit of sleep.
7? I was out in about 2 minutes.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah. Solid gone.
Was that the alcohol you drank first, or the book?
Drink, Simon.
Okay.
Can't
And you've got the children's book, which actually we've had more
this
comments
is lovely.
from older people who said it's brilliant as well.
I've read this to my daughter away, and
this is
she
like
also fell asleep.
this is a bit like.
Sorry. No, my daughter and I read that together. It's a beautiful book.
Laurie, can you get the Swan Hook? Swan Hook needs to come into play any second now.
And it's 10 years.
It's basically it's about our rescues, but from the animal's point of view. That one. And
lovely book.
It's what we do, and we could write another 50 of those books. If any publishers want to take this book on, I would happily write more. But
is that a 10th anniversary? Is it really?
It is.
You wrote
Yeah,
it 10 years ago?
yeah, 10 years ago. It was first out. So if anybody wants another book or wants to print it as a cartoon, it's Duncton Wood all over again. Or Warship Down all over again, to be honest.
Great.
So guys, that's it. We're getting right off the topic now. Laurie.
Yes. So we've had another donation from the Warren, who's donated €50. So thank you very much. And has put, thank you, Simon. Because of the videos that we make, they were able to rescue 2 young swans with injured legs, and both of them were fine. You were right. Swans are a bunch of softies. So thank you very much for helping them out, and glad we could help on that one.
Glad you learned. I mean, to get our videos out there is great for us. It's good awareness. But if it's teaching you how to do things, and that swans aren't that vicious if you're careful, or any wildlife, if you know what you're doing, just take it gently. Never go for anything that you're scared of. I've said this a million times on these YouTube things, but an animal will know if you're scared, and if you go up towards it and the animal senses your fear, it will play havoc with you. If the animal knows you're not scared, you get a much better run at it. You've been up against a few swans in your life, haven't you?
I have,
yeah. They know.
They do.
They know when you're scared.
They
so
do.
be brave,
the only thing
guys.
I would say is about heron. We tried to do. I nearly had my eye out. I was nearly pecked.
He's a wildlife artist. He only needs one eye.
So close.
He doesn't need the perspective.
He told me afterwards
one eye's fine.
that I should be wearing glasses.
Yeah, absolutely. One eye's plenty. Bung us a question, Laurie.
So, Down with the Fluff has asked, hi Wildlife Aid, is there any way of keeping wild animals from using their garden as a bathroom?
Basically, animals come into your garden because they want food. In the southeast of England, the biggest wildlife corridor we have are people's back gardens. And obviously we have black bin liners, they're full of food, animals come in for it. If you don't have a food source, then they're less likely to come into your garden. There are deterrents you can buy, there's stuff you can get to get rid of foxes and all sorts of animals, but yeah, they come in for food basically, it's as simple as that. And sadly, I mean, what you should think, you should reverse the whole thing around. You're lucky to get wildlife in your garden. I mean, wildlife is disappearing so fast, we've got 1 in 5 species are disappearing. Over 50% of British wildlife species are declining at the most alarming rate. So be grateful you've got the wildlife, to be honest, because by the time your grandchildren are born, there might not be any wildlife here, and that would be beyond tragic and would cause a huge problem for mankind and all the animals above. I mean, Richard, all right, he's brilliant. He does all the artistry of all the big African animals, whatever. But just think a little bit further forward. Those animals survive because the food chain's intact. If the food chain goes, those animals wouldn't be here either, and nor would we. So we need the food chain. In fact, the things we should be drawing, and Richard should be spending his life drawing now, is invertebrates. Trouble is, they're not very sexy. Nobody wants to sort of sponsor a centipede, even if it's got a leg missing. But we need all the creatures intact so the food chain can work and the bigger animals can survive because of them. So everything's important. It's got to be a very holistic cure. We need the holistic cure. So that's not only the animals you've got to save, you've got to save their habitat. It gets so big, which is why we're beginning to launch a thing called IDOT. It will become far bigger next year. You'll hear about it more next year. IDOT is going to be the big thing of the future. I'm hoping it's going to go beyond viral. It's going to be a massive way of helping to start to save the planet. We can only do a little bit. I wish we could do it all. I wish I could wave my magic wand and sort all the problems out. We can't. We'll do our bit, we'll do it well, and we'll hope all you people can do your bit as well.
Yeah, so more donations have come in. Thank you very much once again. Kirisaki has donated €10 once again and has put once more my love to you all. Thank you very, very much. And Nika has donated €10 as well and has put they agree the calendar is too cheap actually, so we'll sell it for £50 in the future. They're going to go and buy one now. The photos are beautiful, and here is a bit of extra for keeping up the wonderful work. So thank you very much on that one.
If you do buy a calendar, guys, that's really fantastic. If you want to put a donation on top of your £10, we're certainly not going to say no. So thank you, but every penny helps us survive. Difficult running a charity because the more successful you are, the more it costs you to run. If you run a corporate, obviously the more successful you are, the more profit you make. Sadly, that's not the case for charities.
Very nice badge.
Nice badge.
We've had a couple of bids already for Richard's prints, so thank you very much for those.
Or if you could just up those a bit, because we don't want him to get upset the price is worth. If we only tell him it's worth 50p, he's going to get really upset.
Yes, live on YouTube.
So the current winning bids on there, we have Darren Coombs is currently winning the second, the older badges print at £50 for that one.
Oh wow, fantastic.
And we have, if I scroll down the chat.
Kirisaki has bid £100 for both.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
yeah. For that one, as Darren got in with his £50 first, if it's okay, we can do £50 for one, and Darren can have the other one. If you want to either of you increase your bids, feel free. We won't say no.
And if you were very nice, you could probably find a few more limited edition
I'm
so we
sure
can fulfil both their needs.
Yes, I'm sure we can. So
Richard
yeah,
is, he's an artist. Let's face it, he's a starving, struggling artist. He will do anything for money, as will I. So, you might both find that your every Christmas desire is fulfilled tonight.
Fantastic.
Give us your details, guys. If you do bid for something, we can't guarantee to fill everybody up, but basically, if you give us your details, if we can help you, we certainly will. And Richard might cry a lot, but it's worth seeing him cry at Christmas.
So we've got Carol Hello, who has asked, are there any people who try and stop us whilst we're rescuing animals?
We've had one or two problems when we tried to rescue an animal. You have no idea how verbal I can be if anybody tries to stop me, and I've never lost yet. It does sometimes get a bit controversial, for want of a better word, but yes, we do get people step in, say we shouldn't be doing it, we should be doing something different. That's when my temper really flies. I only ever lose my temper at two things. One is when an animal's in danger, and the other thing is when one of our volunteers either endangers an animal or endangers themselves. That's when I really blow. So normally I'm reasonably placid. I'm even quite placid with Richard, even though, who wants to be nice to an artist, really? Okay, I will.
Charming.
Go on, off you go.
Rebecca Carroll has asked, is putting out birdseed during the winter a good thing to do?
If you want my honest answer now, which you're probably not going to pay for, we don't need to feed the birds in the summer because there's plenty of food out there. If we love doing it, you love seeing the birds in your garden, that's sort of fine. In the winter, if it gets really icy and really snowy, and I wonder in the south of England whether we're ever going to see snow again, perhaps we might see tiny bits but nothing big. When they need it, obviously feed them. When the weather's very inclement, when it's really icy or really cold or really snowy, yes, that's when animals could do with the help. Don't get them too used to it. And in the summer, if you just love seeing them and you want to help them, there's nothing wrong with that either. Otherwise, all the bird food selling companies would probably come and murder me within the next 3 hours. Off you go, Richard.
Can I ask you a question?
You can.
Yeah, go for it.
So swans, I'm addicted to swans. I love swans. I have some swans down at the lake that I feed and I look after, and I bought one here which had a broken toe, and you saved its life, generally saved its life. One of the big things, and it's probably a question for a lot of people out there, is everybody was saying don't feed them bread, don't feed them bread, and there was this whole thing about don't feed swans bread. And now I think the nation took that to heart, and they didn't. And now there's this whole big movement of people saying, actually, please feed swans bread. There's a guy at the Swan Sanctuary, I don't know who it was, the top guy at Swan Sanctuary, saying that it's actually fine. It's going to really upset him now, he's going to flow. But, so, it's a question for myself. Obviously not white bread. I know white bread is bad, it's full of sugar and it's, but small amounts of brown bread, like grain bread or something, is it? They're saying there's a lot of underweight swans around.
There are.
So
if it's underweight swans and they're struggling to eat, there's no short answer. What I would say, and will always say, is try to feed any animal as near to a natural diet as it would get in the wild. So that is grass and grain,
yes.
And you can actually buy swan pellets. You can go to a
frozen peas. I've heard of frozen peas.
I don't know about frozen peas. I must admit, if you caught me on that one,
I've heard that before.
I'll get my own back
works.
on Richard later on, so I didn't know the answer to that
Ducks
one.
and swans.
Just try to stay to as natural diet as you can. I don't like feeding starchy white bread because it's not anywhere near a natural diet. But if they're going to die without it, obviously you would do it. I can't believe there's that many swans this time of year that are very underweight, but you know, habitat is declining. You know, water is getting warmer, the currents in the oceans are going wrong, everything's suffering. We don't know yet, I don't think. We have no idea what the knock-on effect of all this climate change is going to be. So we need to keep a really close eye on it, we need to monitor it, and we might be feeding swans bread in 5 years' time. I will try not to. I'll try to feed them grain or green stuff.
Dandelions, they love dandelions.
Yeah, all that's because that's natural. That's what they get in the river. So try to be natural if you can. White bread, I would tend to say try not to feed them white bread if you can. Brown bread, possibly a little better because it's got the grain in it. But yeah, if you need to feed them, but again, if you see an animal is in that much trouble, if it's that badly in condition, ring a wildlife hospital because we probably need to go out and get it back in because it's probably a bit more serious than just the fact that it's losing a bit of weight. So always ring a wildlife hospital and tell them what the problem is, where the problem is, and they will go out and help you deal with it.
Thank you.
So a couple more donations have come in. Thank you once again to everyone. Push Bike Cam, who's actually a regular on this stream, has donated £5 and has put, "Hey Simon, big hug, and Richard, can you draw a picture of Simon?"
I haven't got the strength. I really haven't got the strength.
I'll ask my £5 back in a minute if you draws a picture of me.
Funny, my pen just ran out. Sorry, guys.
Tragic, that is tragic.
It would have a cigarette.
While we're here, we're talking about all sorts of things.
You know,
Abby, chuck me the hedgehog necklace because this is really beautiful. We've had these specially designed and made by a friend of the centre. That is, I don't know whether you can see that. Is that nice and centre shot, Lawrie?
That's in shot, but there you go. I've just put up a picture of it on the screen now.
So
it's top right of the screen now.
So here is a hedgehog. It's sterling silver, or it is solid silver. I don't think we can say sterling silver. There's some weird thing about hallmarks. But it is silver. It is beautiful. And every one of these you buy will help save a hedgehog. And that's the important thing. I mean, people think, okay, Simon, you're going to say we only save 100 hedgehogs this year.
how much is it?
This hedgehog necklace is, Abby, it's not going to tell me now.
Abby's like,
Look, she's choking. She's having to go to our website to find out what
We'll get Alice in the chat.
We will give you an answer to that shortly. But what you've got to think is, you know, we save 100 hedgehogs. People might say it's not very many, it's not a lot. But I think the important thing, every animal we save now, in 10 years' time, £35 is the answer to the question.
Beautiful. It is
Richard's going to buy 10 of them just to start us
oh, it's
off.
heavy.
It is heavy. It is heavy.
There's proper weight in that.
What was I saying then? Oh yeah, okay, so every 100 hedgehogs we save, we've spent months doing the maths on this. The chances are, taking in all the unknowns and all the sort of mortality factors on hedgehogs, if those 100 hedgehogs go through and have progeny and everything over the next 10 years, there will probably be 35,000 more hedgehogs in the world in 10 years' time. So if 100 centres took in 100 hedgehogs a year, that would be 3.5 million. You've got to work forward. It's not the one you save today, it's what you're allowing to be there in 10 years' time. So, you know.
And must be great for you when you're releasing these animals back into the wild.
It's fantastic.
They're going to create, you know, procreate and continue the
do all the naughty things.
Yeah, all
the naughty things that animals do. What else we've got going? We've got 2 events going on Christmas time, haven't we now? We've got Help the Animals at Christmas, which we were lucky to feature on it last year, and it made us an incredible £150,000, which is just stunning. It allowed us to do a load of extra work, redo some pens, so that was amazing, and it allowed us to do some work at 20 acres as well, which is still progressing slowly. If anybody wins a lottery in the next few weeks, just remember 20 acres, because we need, you ready for this one, guys? 6.5 million. It's a big ask, but if everybody who lived in England gave us just £1, we'd be there and some tomorrow. So it is the little things you do that make the big things happen. So yeah, 6.5 million, massive. But if everybody in Surrey actually gave us £1, we'd have the centre built tomorrow.
Just let ahead.
So yeah, no, Surrey. You've got to be Surrey, 6 million. So yeah, it really makes a difference. So anything you can do really helps. So Help the Animals at Christmas is on this year from the 2nd to the 5th of December. It's a very different format. I think each charity is going to feature as a little slot on each of 5 programmes through the week, and you have the chance to donate money to that, and we will get a 5th of that pot, which is amazing. And the other thing we have going on at Christmas time this year is the Big Give. I'm not even sure we should be talking about it at the moment, but for basically it's doubling of money. Money we get in will double up. So if we manage to raise £8,500 in that 1 week from the, I've got to get this right, from the 3rd to the 10th of December, it will be doubled up, so we'll get double the money. So
how's that? Is that a government thing? Or?
No, it's not government. It's through a website,
right.
And it's just match funding, really.
Wow.
And if we get that in, it's got to be paid to Give, not paid to Wildlife Aid. You've got to go onto the Big Give website. Apparently, you can give from all over the world to this thing. If we can get another £8,500, it will double our original £8,500, which was pledged by a company and a very, very generous benefactor, to whom I'm going to say no words because he doesn't want to be mentioned. I'm just going to go, thank you so much. And there's the smile.
A couple more donations have come in once again. The Warrens donated another €50, thank you very much, and has put, Simon is no longer allowed to use his age as an excuse. They were originally watching season 6 of Wildlife SOS, that's going back several years, and you were already using your age as an excuse back then, so you're no longer allowed to use your age as an excuse.
How old was he then?
Oh, in season 6?
60.
Oh, still 10 years older than me then.
Yeah.
No, he was old. He was old. In all fairness.
I'm older every day. I get a little bit older, which is why Lawrie does more and more of the rescues. Apart from that, when I don't go with him, he doesn't get the creature. But
I'm leaving. I'm just going to go.
Going, so there's no control over this for the rest of the show. Go on, keep going, Lawrie.
So some more donations. Nigel Grant, who's actually a very good supporter of the charity, raised over £10,000 for us in the past, which is absolutely incredible. He's donated £25, so thank you very much to Nigel. And Sven.
I thought you'd forgotten us, Nigel. I thought, because I haven't had any wildlife stamps for a long time. Nigel gives us all the beautiful British wildlife stamps, and he says, sell those, make some money. They all go in my top drawer. I can't sell them, they're so beautiful. We will sell them one day, but they'll be worth even more when we come to sell them.
Sven has also returned in the chat, so hello to Sven. Great to see you again. He's donated yet another €100. That's one for every single live stream that we've done now, which is just absolutely incredible. So thank you very, very much to you.
Sven, I don't want to upset you too much, mate, but we are going to start doing a live stream every hour, every day in the next 10 years. So you better
such an opportunity.
You better start saving up. It could get very expensive.
We have Lucy, our old vet nurse, in the chat. So hello to her, and she's given us a wonderful insight into Wildlife SOS Series 6, and said you were actually 85 back then.
85 years old?
Yeah, 85 years old.
85 parts full of alcohol.
Is that why Lucy doesn't work here anymore?
Yeah, Lucy left me. She's deserted me.
Hi, Lucy.
She doesn't
Hi,
care.
Lucy.
I'm all on my own. She doesn't come and see us anymore. She lives a life of Riley, gadding around the world. Sean, her husband, awful man, awful, but a brilliant wildlife rescuer.
Quick, save it.
So we don't like him either because he doesn't save animals with us. Sean, I miss you with me. I've got really what could be your son. I've got Lawrie now. He's very, very good and he's fast catching up to you. So if you want to prove that you're still the best, you have to get back here and do some rescues.
That's blackmail. That's just is blackmail.
That's the one.
So, a couple more bids in for prints. Kirisaki has bid £150 for both prints.
Oh,
so thank you very, very much for that one.
You're a good man or a lady. I don't.
That,
I'm going to be a bit careful.
I think it's a lady.
Yes,
Lady.
that's
Thank
£75
you.
per print is the current
Fantastic.
highest donation. If anyone wants to offer more than
Thank
that,
you.
they're currently at £75 each.
Now, when I said Richard
Thank
was
you.
a brilliant wildlife artist, guys, you know, let's not go over the top about this.
Yes, I mean, look at that, guys. I mean,
Yeah.
that's skill.
He thinks that's a
That
hedgehog.
is skill.
He thinks
It's the best he's ever
That
done.
is-
It's the best he's ever done.
That's
Lawrie,
that's my
the
new
biggest
style.
insult you could give him, really. So,
Thank you,
guys,
Lawrie.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
you, everybody.
Send
us your details. Don't forget.
So a couple more questions for Richard. Sad Seal has asked you, how much do you travel for your work?
Actually, this last month's been quite a one. I've been to Vietnam to see the moon bears over there, and Simon, you filmed the moon bears
with
Jill Robinson
over there.
What season
Brilliant
was that?
woman.
Do you remember? Were you old then?
Oh
as
my
well?
God, I was old then, but not nearly as old as I am now.
So yeah, that was last month. Hopefully going back to Africa. I was meant to be there actually this month, but my camera broke, so I've had to cancel that. So I'll probably go back.
Fisher Price do a really good deal on cameras for children.
Well, it was one of those, you know, those £50 ones.
Yeah.
VTech, I think it's called. With the rubber, you know, postman pat on it, but it was.
Be very careful. This is
unfortunately,
live. Be very careful.
So yeah, I'm going to go back next year to Africa. So I try and travel on a big trip every 2 years if I can to get enough material. As I said, you use your own material. If you're going to be an artist and do this kind of properly, use your own material. So yeah, about every 2 years is a big trip, and then kind of little trips. Went to Skoma this year to see the puffins.
You spent a lot of time with seals this year too, haven't you?
I do like
You've had your
seals. I
kayak
do,
out in
yes.
British waters.
That's the UK, you see.
It is,
That's the
UK.
UK, and I love seals. They're so inquisitive and
You spend days down there, don't you?
I do. I
Paddling around
sit
in
up
your
to my
kayak.
neck in water in a dry suit with my camera. It's probably why my camera's broken, actually. Thinking about it.
Yeah, it's not another water camera. You're supposed to
not,
buy
I know.
another water camera.
I think
for
that's
that.
where I've gone wrong. Yeah. Lawrie, I've just worked it out. That's why my camera broke. I had salt water on it.
Remind me not to lend you equipment.
And you're going to lend me that nice lens. Thank you, Lawrie.
Just while you're here, just give us your website address so people can go and look at your pictures because they are stunning.
That's okay. Well, my name's Richard Symonds with a Y, Symonds, and it's .co.uk. So just richardsymonds.co.uk. And I'm doing a little offer at the moment. If you buy a print from my website in the month of November, which we're still in, I'm going to do like a raffle. Whoever wins that raffle will get a free print of a tiger worth £125. And I send all of them all around the world, so it's all free postage.
And anything bought on the back of tonight's live, I'm sure Richard will make us a very, very generous donation to Wildlife Aid.
Yes, Simon.
At least what?
Yeah.
0.5%? 1%?
Ow!
No, I'm sure he'll be nice to us. If you get
I
lots
always,
of orders
I
over
look
the next
after,
few
I
days.
try and look after these guys. As I said, they do amazing
I
work.
need looking after.
Poor little old man. Do you remember that Benny Hill sketch? No, honestly, these guys are heroes, and I would not be here wasting my time if I wasn't
You've got nothing else
in
to
the
do.
presence of
You've
heroes.
got nothing else to do. Of course you'd be here. Anything to
Listen,
sit in a warm room for an hour.
That sounded completely wrong. What I'm trying to say, I wouldn't be doing things like this if it wasn't for fantastic people who do amazing work, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I really do.
Thank you very much. Couple more questions for you, mate.
Oh no, crikey.
Do you paint foxes, and have you ever painted a wolf?
No, I have done a fox. I've definitely done a fox, or 2 foxes now. I've never done a wolf. I'm going to, but I haven't. I haven't yet.
Simon will be wanting you to do a wolf. It's one of his
I've
favourite
still got a
animals.
scar. I've still got a scar from a wolf. We
Have
went
you?
filming on SOS many years ago now. On the very first day we were out, we went out to these wild wolves, but they're sort of semi-tame because they've been reared and they do come back to people, but you have to behave absolutely right. And if you're hard, then when you go to them, they'll have to attack you. You have to go down, you have to not look. And this inquisitive wolf came up to me. I mean, we were in the middle of Russia. Beautiful, beautiful scenery. What a beautiful country Russia is. And this wolf came up to me and sort of was looking at me, and he just did that with his paw, which was saying hello, but its paws are so big and so sharp, it scratched me right down my nose. Blood everywhere, right on the first scene of this whole series. So we were in trouble for the rest of it. I had this scar down my nose. But I'm very proud of my wolf scar.
That's
very
a good
proud
one.
of it indeed.
That's a good one.
Beautiful creatures, absolutely beautiful.
Sarah has asked you, Richard, are you still planning on kayaking around the UK to raise awareness about plastic pollution and the impacts on wildlife?
Definitely, Sarah. Yes, definitely. It's a big trip. I'm going to plug something. I'm going to need some help because it's about 15 grand. to do this trip. I've got a couple of very big corporations interested. We've got to kind of get them to sign the dotted line, which they haven't done yet. When I've got the sponsorship ready, yeah, I'm going to go for it. So I'm not going to do it next year. It's going to be a 2021. There's another really important thing. We talk about the animals and everything, but plastic floating around in the oceans. You know, there are leatherback turtles. Their favourite food is jellyfish. And I believe they're around the coast already of Dorset, leatherback, and up in Wales.
Guess what plastic bags look like in water?
Exactly, plastic bags look like their favourite food, jellyfish. So, and seals, we mentioned seals tonight. You know, seals getting caught with rope or fishing rope and stuff. So, it's something I'm really passionate about. I reached the grand old age, and I'm going to be old now. I'm very old, 50 this year. It's not as old as Simon, thank God. But yeah, so it's something I've always wanted to do, is sail around or kayak around the UK, and to do it with a good cause of collecting plastic along the beaches.
And raising money for Wildlife Aid.
And raising money for Wildlife Aid, yes.
We got that, that's now on.
Yeah. Fell straight into that one.
Well, if I'm still alive when you do it, if I should still be here in my decrepit state, we're going to come out and meet you on your trip several times.
Awesome.
Pick up how you're doing, what you've done, put it on YouTube.
That'd be very cool.
It'd be really cool.
I need a sponsor, a big sponsor.
No, you can't talk about that here. That's the only sponsors here for Wildlife Aid, so nothing for Symonds at all.
God.
Thank you, Sarah.
We've actually had Lucy has left a comment for you saying Wildlife Aid was the best place to work for. Every day was so much fun. She will never forget, and you are the best. No person on the planet can catch deer like you can. You are a master wildlife rescuer. So we may have to shrink your head before we leave the
Yes.
I watched that video, the best deer release capture thing on YouTube yesterday. You were crying, and I was crying at the screen watching it. You know what I mean, Lawrie? Did you?
Yes, yeah.
That was very cruel. I just found myself crying. It was because that was an amazing rescue. You were crying a lot as well.
I think you were crying because you knew you were coming here tonight. I think
there is also that, yes. But no, it was amazing. Incredible.
Okay, so there we are. Be nice to Lucy, but only very, very rarely. So we're still looking. Just so you know, Lucy was with us for a lot of years. She was brilliant, really aggressive when she went. We are still looking for both vets and vet nurses on a volunteer basis. And sometimes we do have some sort of self-employed 2 or 3 days a week basis as well. So do check in on our website. So vet nurses and vets we're looking for. We are also desperately looking now, and I mean desperately looking for a volunteer teacher. Now they don't actually need to be a teacher, but they need to be really, really passionate about the environment. We want a teacher to go out probably 1 or 2 days a week to start this IDOC campaign off, to liaise with schools, to pick up their feedback, to go and tell them what IDOC's all about and how to do it. So if there's any teachers out there, maybe retired, maybe not have a permanent post yet, please get in contact with us again. I think the position is on our website, but if it's not, Abby will make sure it is tomorrow when she's found out the price of the Hedgehog necklaces, which were £35.
£35.
So yeah, please stay on the website. We do need vets, vet nurses, and we do need some teachers, or what I would call educationalists, to help us take IDOC through and support the schools who are supporting us. That's probably the last plug of the evening, but you never know.
Interestingly, Lucy has said that she is thinking of coming down to visit in 2 weeks' time, so we would love to see you if you do, Lucy.
Entry to Wildlife Aid is £35 for most people and £10,000 for Lucy Kells, veterinary nurse.
So I had another donation, Happy Cheeks, which is a wonderful name, has donated £5 and has put thank you for all you do, so thank you very much. In terms of bidding for the prints, we've got about 10 minutes or so left in this live chat. The current bids are £150 for both, which is £75 per print. That is done by the same person. No, we haven't had any bids for the Hedgehog at the moment. If you would like Richard's Hedgehog, please leave your bid in the chat. If not, I'm going to. In fact, let's start it off.
Did Lawrie just bid £20 for my Hedgehog?
I bid £20 for the Hedgehog. We'll start it off right here.
Oh, you've got the money.
There we go.
That was the £20 you got for that rescue this morning.
It really wasn't. That went to Alice.
So there you are, look guys, a bit of fun. I'll sign it, Lawrie will sign it,
yes,
Abby will sign it, Richard will sign it. It will be, for that reason, absolutely unique.
So please get your bids for those in, guys. Last couple of questions. Yasmin has asked, do you know of any wildlife rescues in Hertfordshire? They can't find any.
There certainly are. I can't tell you offhand because I don't have the direction in front of me. Ring our reception tomorrow on, now I'm going to forget the number because I can't.
Well, our reception, 09061 800 132.
That's because he's young and I'm old. 09061 800 132. It's like Help the Animals. Dial this number, 09061 800 132. Calls will be charged to your normal network rate. No, seriously, guys, give them a ring. There are some rescues in Hertfordshire, certainly, or certainly around in neighbouring counties. But if in doubt, send us an email and I will personally look into it if I remember.
Another donation from Pushbike Cam, who's donated £5, has put money well spent. Can you name an animal after me? Unfortunately, we don't name any of our patients here at WAF. But Richard, can you give her a wave? There you go.
That's a £5 wave.
It is. It's a very good wave.
Most expensive wave Richard's ever given.
The Queen's wave.
The Queen's wave should be like that, shouldn't it? I think.
One.
Sarah is also asking if she can have a close-up of the wolf scar on your face, Simon.
It's on my nose. It's on my nose. And I'm coming in close to the camera. It'll probably blur out now. But there is a scar there. It's on my nose down there. And there was a lot of blood at the time. I thought my life was threatened for about a millisecond. We've actually, it's on the episode. If you're watching the episode, it's the one where I went to Russia. The very first sequence, the wolf, when we went into the sequence, it just scratched me down the nose and there's blood running everywhere.
Would you like to see my leopard scar?
No, we don't want to see your
leopard scar.
Right on the side here.
That's different.
Have you quite finished finding out doing these things?
Just to let you know, Darren Coombs is up to his bid to £100 for the second badge
Oh
print.
wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Darren.
And Richard will be going home tonight drawing another 55 of these prints.
I'll see you later.
Yeah, he's got to get going.
With the Hedgehog as well, Kirisaki has actually just said she'll make it £200 for all three, which is amazing. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Come and see us. We're at WildlifeAid. Come and see us. Come and visit us. £200. I'll do anything for £200.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Unfortunately, I think on that one, when it's split down, it could be £75 per print with that one. Darren still gets it for the second badger print, so if you're happy to have just the first two, we can adjust it accordingly. If not...
Lawrie, you and I both know all these people's orders will be fulfilled.
Yes, we will make sure that anyone who puts a bid in, who has the highest bid at the end, we can get stuff
But do remember, these are, although we might be able to do fill 2 or 3 of you, however many orders we get, they are limited edition.
Yes.
Richard won't go over that number.
Yes.
So they are limited.
And they are usually a lot more expensive, an awful lot more expensive. So. And they're of WildlifeAid patients.
If you do want them signed by us as well, sorry, these prints we're sending, we will sign them. I don't want to ruin them for Richard's sake, but if you would like us all to sign these prints, we're also happy to do that. So, but you need to tell us.
We sign it on the back, so in pencil, so we don't lose the value.
I'll sign you on the back. Be careful. Any more questions coming in?
We've got a donation from Myra Kinghorn, who's actually one of our volunteers. She's donated
Myra
£10. Myra Kinghorn.
She's very old, isn't she?
She's very lovely. She's one of our volunteers and is a really lovely
Myra,
lady.
it's amazing how they all stick up for you. Myra does an awful lot of work.
Anyway, have you seen the lovely calendars?
These trying to change. Myra, we do love you. She keeps my office straight. She does everything for me. So I'm just taking the mic because I'm allowed to, because she's old like me.
We've had Kirisaki's actually come back in and she's upped her bid. She's actually let Darren have the second badger print for 100, but she's upped hers for £200 for the first badger print and the Hedgehog. So that's £300 for all three. Is the current thing. £100 per print. So thank you so much.
We will be chartering a plane to send all these prints out to you, because at this rate I think you've got about 300 prints, so we'll put them all on a plane.
Not forgetting these gorgeous.
Yeah, the calendar. Don't forget Laura's calendar.
Bargain. Absolutely beautiful.
£10
with Abbey. Half of those images Abbey took actually.
Half of them?
Which half?
I'd say a good, probably close to that.
Did she take that one?
She take the background, the out of focus bits, and you took. No, that's you, isn't it? That's Lawrie does the out of focus stuff.
I am constantly told that I can't take a photo in focus. So that is the thing here. I can't take an in focus.
Are these all from the same
focus
photos?
Yes. So every single one of those are animals that have been through the WildlifeAid. They're all taken in our pens or during treatment or anything like that.
Beautiful.
So you've gone quiet. Abby's been very quiet tonight, hasn't she?
Yeah,
very, very
unfortunately,
quiet.
I can't scroll back through the chat at the moment, so I actually can't see if anyone has asked any more questions. So hopefully Abby can have a look back through there and try and find a couple out.
Scrolling.
It's all gone
We're
very quiet
scrolling.
now while Abby scrolls.
A lot of people want to see your leopard scar.
It's
It's probably in a very inappropriate
it's
location.
quite inappropriate, and I'm not quite as fit as I used to be. So
Absolutely.
we will we'll skip on that.
I noticed we haven't had a donation from Adam tonight. Abby's better half. He normally does anything to stop me being nasty to Abby. So Adam, you know, the lines are still open. Donations may still be given.
As far as I'm aware, he's not in the country.
I don't care where he is. International Adam, where are you?
Someone has asked, how many hours do you spend a week saving animals?
Yeah. People ask us what hours we work. I mean, I work normally from about 8 in the morning till about 10 at night. I do get some sit-down time in that, but we're always on call. Both Lawrie and I are on call. We actually had a call about 11 last night. I was so tired. I'd gone to bed. I just couldn't even stand up anymore. So I rang Lawrie. I said, Lawrie, please deal with it. So Lawrie and I are on call pretty much 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But we work very long hours. But we wouldn't do it if we didn't love it. It is a passion. I will whinge about it every single day of my life, and I wouldn't change it if anybody offered me, well,
What, 6.5 million?
6.5 million, I'd probably change it just to get the
It's a
sense
lot
of
of money. An awful lot of
Come
money.
on, give us some more questions. Are there any left? Can we take all the questions from the entire world?
There are definitely still more, but unfortunately I can't find anything.
But Gordon Jackson has said, Simon, you've been abroad before. Are you planning to go again, and where would you like to go next?
I would love to go abroad again. I'd love to get another TV as well. Half of me would love to get another TV series, but it's a lot of pressure, it's a lot of strain. But I would like to do it because it brings awareness. If it was anywhere in the world, I mean, the trips I've done have been staggeringly amazing. I've loved it. If I could only go and do one trip before I died again, I would go on another safari to Zambia. It was the first trip we ever did. It was one where I spent pretty much all the week crying in the sheer joy of what I saw, and I'm cracking up now talking about it. Oh, I'd love to go back there. Take over, quick.
Have you seen the Banjo Prince, anybody? It's, you're right, on tissue.
I'm fine.
It's having quick recovery. Yes.
We have actually had a few questions that I can read out. Amanda has asked, with all of the rescues that they have that aren't so successful, deer that need putting down, foxes or anything like that, how do both of you actually, because both of you have been involved in sad rescues, how do you stay positive when you see so much sadness with some of the sort of more negative aspects of what we do?
All the sadness you see is not outweighed by the positive things, but it balances. You know, you can't, it's like doctors, vets, nurses in this country have a really sick sense of humour, and you have it because you see so much horribleness. It's like Annus Horribilis, that you have to get rid of it. You can't keep it inside you, you've got to let it go. So yeah, you know, but it's still the best thing for the animal. If you see a deer with, you know, 2 broken legs and it can hardly move and you know it's going to die, there's nothing you can do for it. At least you can put it to sleep very quickly and put it out of its misery. Yes, it's horrible, yes, it's vile, but that animal could have lived for another 2 or 3 weeks probably, just crawling around on its belly, not able to eat, not able to get away from things. It would have been horrendous. So sometimes the things we do aren't the best. I hate having to put anything to sleep, but if I think it's best for the animal, then I will do that.
But when you release something, I mean, you can see it in your face, and I've been on a few releases with you, is it like birds or the swans or the owls we mentioned. It's just such an amazing feeling. That's that second chance that they wouldn't have been there, they'd have died, very unpleasant death probably. That's what lifts you, isn't it?
And that one you saved today, as we say, can produce a whole load more in 5 or 10 years' time. So it's what we do. I mean, I love it. I do love it. And I mean, I would often cry at releases, to be honest, because it's just so amazing to see the work. I'm going to crack up again. All the work you've done. Yes, talk about something else. Move fast.
You see, he is a softie. He may be old.
I may be old.
He may be old.
Senile.
But he is a big softie, which is why you do what you do. It's amazing.
We've had one from Paul. How long do hedgehogs hibernate for, and when roughly do they do it?
It depends upon the weather. They will start, if you get 3 or 4 days, or maybe a few more 4 days of sort of 0 temperatures or near 0 temperatures, that will encourage the hedgehog to hibernate. They don't always fully hibernate. They sometimes come out if the winter's mild, but they go into hibernation. If they're under 600 grams when they go into hibernation, they're not going to come out the other side. Now this time of the year we're getting underweight hedgehogs in. We had 2 at the weekend which were 170 grams, so little tinies. And they were joined together by plastic garden netting, so cutting to their skins was horrible. Myra did her brilliant work, and they'll be fine. They will stay with us for the winter. We'll be feeding them some of the 20,000 cans of
They
food.
look amazing. We did actually a check-up on them today, and the wounds are almost non-existent.
Wow.
So
but they will be with us. We won't let them sleep. We'll keep them at sort of 20 to 23 degrees, so they don't go to sleep, because if they go to sleep, I say they won't wake up the other side because they haven't got enough fat reserves.
So all young, all young hoglets that are born later in the year, they're all
unless they get to 600 grams, they're going to perish. So if you see a baby, a small hoglet out, just check it over, but importantly, weigh it. Bang it on your guard, on your kitchen scales. If it's under probably 500 grams, certainly bring it in. If it's under 600 grams, probably even that now to bring it in, but ring us. Give us a call. If in doubt, ring us. That's what we're here for. Not only for hoglets, but for any wildlife questions. Give us a call. But yeah, we're likely to overwinter probably 400 hedgehogs this year. And that's a lot of poo.
It is, yeah.
And Google the...
Lafayette Bile 101 has asked, how would you encourage a fox not to live in their garden shed?
Keep the door shut. It's quite simple. If you don't want a fox in your garden shed, don't leave the garden shed door open. It's not rocket science, which is one of my favourite expressions here. They go in for warmth. They're very canny. All wild animals are quite canny, really. They know what they want. They know how to get it. They're not stupid by any stretch. In fact, I often think animals are less stupid than mankind. But let's not get into that debate now. So yeah, if you don't want a fox in your garden shed, shut the door, guys.
Luke has just left a message for you, Simon. Just want to say that you and Les Stocker were their inspiration for starting their own wildlife rescue, which is Oxfordshire Wildlife Rescue, so please go and support them, guys. And you two were and are a credit to this profession, so thank you very much.
I love Les. So big. Les died a couple of years ago now. We started WildlifeAid really because of Les. I went to his funeral, and he was a great guy.
A couple of people are talking about the hoglets and the hedgehogs that came in the story that Simon was talking about earlier. That one has actually already been started over on our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter pages, our main social media. If you do want to keep up with their progress, please head on over there. We will have an update of those about them very soon. No, it's not out on YouTube yet. It will be coming on YouTube soon.
Cool.
Wow.
2 little hedgehogs. They're very pretty hedgehogs too. Sometimes you get some animals which are just prettier than others, and these 2 hedgehogs that came in were really cutesy. Really cutesy.
Whilst when the weather starts to get colder now, do you recommend people leaving out food for birds, seeds and things like that, or would you?
If the weather gets really cold, if it gets frosty and animals can't get to their normal diet, like if it's really sharp frost, they won't be able to eat, so they need water. Animals need water on the ground, birds need water up high, but food as well. But you know, if it's not that cold, they can find food. It doesn't hurt to feed them. It really doesn't hurt to feed them. But remember, when you feed a bird or whatever, you're feeding all the rodents as well that get the food that spills over. So you know, just enjoy it. Love your wildlife, guys, because I've just got a horrible feeling if we went forward 50 years in time and could sort of open the door to 50 years time tomorrow, I just really wonder what we'd actually see out in our wild spaces, and it does scare me.
Frightening.
The only good thing about that is I shan't be here then, so I shan't have to worry about it. But I worry about it for the future generations, which is why we're doing all we can now to try to address the balance, and we're trying to get children to pick up the banner really, because it's them that's really made us turn around. Corporates and governments have been very, very bad at picking up this climate change thing and the necessity of saving wildlife. Thanks to Greta Thunberg and to Bella Lack and all the other guys out there. You know, you are an inspiration to all the other generations, but we've got to stay positive. We can't always talk gloom and doom that it's all over and it's horrendous. Let's turn that round. We know where we are and we know we've got to reverse it. So let's be positive and know that we can reverse it if we try hard enough.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, as a number of you may be pleased to know, my computer is currently experiencing a crash, and I actually can't click on anything. So there'll be no end board on this one, but for those who are wondering, our next one will be on the 4th of December. It will be 3 weeks rather than 4 weeks for this one. That's the start of when we go to the Big Give and when we have the Help the Animals campaign as well. So that will be the 4th of December. We will put that out everywhere with a video as normal.
Could we make sure we don't ask Richard Symonds again, because he really spoiled the evening for us.
Hi.
Yeah, you can only walk that way. If you walk that way, you'll crash over 400.
Sorry, I'm giving Abby a cuddle.
Adam, Richard's being unnecessary with Adam. Be careful. That's got to be worth 50 quid.
I was going to say, how much to get me off, Abby?
So, great archery from Richard.
Yes, so
great.
last couple of minutes to get your bids in for the prints. The current highest bid is £100 per print. So for each one of the three, the 2 prints and the live drawn picture of a hedgehog that will be signed by everyone here. If the 2 bidders, Darren, if you would like the badger print signed by Simon on the back or wherever you want as well, please do let us know. We can sort that as well. If you would prefer to keep them unblemished, then we can do that as well.
Why are you calling me a blemish, Brady? I'm not a blemish. I won't be referred to as a blemish.
I'm allowed to call you that.
Simon Blemish.
Blemish on the landscape. Blemish on the landscape. Guys, thanks so much for watching. This is brilliant.
Thank you.
Go to his website because he is a real little star. And keep supporting wildlife. Keep helping wildlife wherever you can. And thank you for being with us yet again.
Yes, and unfortunately to stop this live chat, I'm going to have to disappear from the camera because I'm actually going to have to turn my computer off at the plug. So this could be quite fun. So talk between yourselves for the next couple of minutes.
What was that?
So I gave him a great sign-off there. A great sign-off.
Oh, we
And he
can't
went
sign
talk,
off.
talk.
We can't actually sign
I gave
off.
him a real good end board then, and he completely blew it by talking on top of it.
Right.
I mean, what can you do with these things? You know, we're on our own now. Laurie's disappeared. Abby's just sort of doing that to us. So I'm not quite sure what that means. I don't think it's very nice. Do you, Richard? Just do that.
I was going to ask you why you got a bottle of KY jelly on your.
That's hand sanitizer.
Oh, hand sanitizer. Okay, sorry.
Yes.
You always know these lives are going to go really badly when Richard Symonds is here. Really badly.
And okay, guys, unfortunately that is a wrap on this one. So we shall see you on December the 4th, where we'll have potentially another guest. We're not entirely sure yet, but we will see you then.
And Braley pulls the plug.
Bye-bye from everyone here.